the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard, live with you downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Very busy 3-hour program lined up today. Jeff Sealey on the program in 30 minutes. Best bets at the Sony Open. Sal Palantonio, an hour from right now. He'll give strong opinions on the NFL Wildcard weekend with picks. And Mike Palm in 90 minutes, VP of this great property in studio. At that time, we have one of the games of the year in the NBA tonight, which we'll get to here momentarily, Pauly. But the news of the day, obviously, is the devastating and the crushing images coming out with that fire in the Pacific Palisades in Southern California. And the news that we have, turning it into like the sports world. First of all, the Rams game is scheduled to be played there on Monday night against the Vikings. At most spots, the Vikings are favored by 1 or 1.5. Here at Circa, it is a pick'em. Will the game get played Monday night? The league has announced that they are monitoring the situation. And I will tell you that in that area, and first of all, at that stadium, which I've never been to at SoFi, is technically, this is according to Arash Markazi, as he pointed out, an outdoor venue with the stadium bowl sitting under a canopy. It's more of an awning than a fixed roof, so fans can feel the wind and the rain depending on where they're sitting. It just so happens that in that area right now, and a major contributor to, I think, why this wildfire is spreading so rapidly is the winds are out of control. Same here in Las Vegas. So you have that going. And a couple of hours ago, Arash also tweeted out that the Rams are not scheduled to practice today ahead of their playoff game against the Vikings in L.A. They are scheduled to have practice Thursday through Saturday. The air quality at the team's practice facility in Woodland Hills borders on, quote, very unhealthy to unhealthy. So will this game get played in Los Angeles on Monday night? Have no idea.
Yeah. You could come here. You could go to Phoenix. But I would think a decision needs to be made soon. The Kings canceled their game tonight.
Yep.
I know you got married in Malibu. I love it there in Malibu. How far is downtown L.A. from Inglewood? That's question number one. Where SoFi is. I guess something to monitor would be what happens with Clipper games. They're on the road tonight. But it's just wreaking havoc with everything and the devastation, the horrible pictures and images. Redick had to evacuate. Kawhi's family had to evacuate. He stepped away from the team. A ton of celebrities and athletes had to evacuate and what happened. But that's because the Clippers arena is right next to the Rams and where the Chargers play. So that's something to watch, too. But
so does that mean Kawhi's not going to play with the team tonight? They're on the road? I'm guessing if they announced that he's stepping away from the team, he's evacuating with his family. I can't, some of the videos and the images coming out of here, I mean, it's as scary as the videos that we had last year when they were in Maui.
Yes.
And the entire island was burning down. And those poor people had to jump into the water to save themselves.
Yes. Well, how do you focus? How are you going to focus on a game when you know what's going on back home with your family?
Look at this image and that we have right now from somebody who took this from a plane. They were getting out of, LAX. The whole city looks like it's burning. And this is floating around social media on Twitter and on Instagram. I mean, it's horrific what you're looking at and what those people are going through right now.
You got married at Duke's.
I did.
They're using it as the
iconic spot.
Yeah.
They turned it into a shelter. They shut it down, and burn victims are going there now for help. One of the best 10-day stretches of my entire life up and down that area with family from all over the country and Canada. They went there for a week, and we all took it in, and we went to Duke's, got married there, but we were spending time in and around Malibu the entire time. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful, that Pacific Palisades, one of the most beautiful spots in the entire world. You just said it 2 minutes ago. You absolutely love it there. How do you not?
Yeah. And 4 places burned to the ground right there, iconic spots. What Arash Markazi tweeted as well.
So make sure.
You're exactly right where you're going. Check your tickets.
You have to.
Because it could be a venue change, day change, everything. Gloomy Gus here, not for nothing. It pisses me off. 14-3's on the road anyways. But in any event, definitely check the house rules and what could happen here.
Right.
Because, I'm sorry, but the potential spots being thrown out early are Las Vegas and Phoenix.
So again, depending on where people bet that, and I know our buddy Chris Massero loved the Rams, and he grabbed them plus 2.5. If that ticket is no good, based on the house rules where he bet it at, this thing is probably going to open back up. Well, if it's a neutral, the Vikings will be favored in the game again, so it could be, I guess, around 2.5, but he might get pick'em. Who knows? In that spot. Mm-hmm. And will it be played on Monday? That's the thing, right?
That's another question.
They have to decide, like, ASAP what they're going to do.
Yes.
You can't push that game back to, like, Tuesday or Wednesday. It's not Christmas Day that we're talking about anymore here.
Yep. That's not that can't be done.
No.
So it's a Saturday or a Sunday type deal then. Well, how much heads up do you need if you also move in cities? That's another thing.
Exactly.
Right? And if
sure.
And we're a sports betting network. I like the Vikings first quarter anyways. If they move the game or if they keep it there with all the distractions and what's going on,
right.
Vikings first quarter. Because they're one of the second best team in the league first quarter, and the Rams are the second worst team in the first quarter.
All right, very good.
So that's something also to look at, where it's just hard to handicap human emotion, but it's just
no kidding.
How do you focus what's going on?
That's terrible
around you. Yes.
NBA tonight again. One of the best games of the entire calendar year is on the schedule. OKC plays at Cleveland. How about this? The Thunder have won 15 straight regular season games. They don't count that cup game, which they lost to the Bucks. So it's 15 straight in the regular season. The Cavs are currently on a 10-game winning streak. Cavaliers are top 10 in defense. OKC, historically good defensively, and they have the best net rating in the entire league. They have the best three-point defense in the NBA. Well, what's going to give tonight? The Cavaliers shoot it better than 40% from downtown as a team. That's number one in the NBA. Yeah,
I do lean Cavs. They've only lost one game at home, and this stretch that they're on, pounding good teams, or what we thought to be good teams, and taking them out, no problem. So it kind of like the game last night with Florida against Tennessee, because Tennessee had the number one defense, and Florida had the number 3 offense. But then again, Tennessee couldn't make a shot. They started 1 of 24 from 3. Mm-hmm. But you have the number 1 offense against the number 1 defense, and I just think that what they're doing with this great stretch and how well they're playing in 18-1 at home, that's a little short, and that Cleveland will get it done. And I love the job Atkinson's done, as high as $3 to win Coach of the Year now. But it's, the only loss was against Atlanta when they took them lightly, and they had that back-to-back home and home where they got beat. Other than that, they've been tremendous this season.
All right, it's tough not to be blown away at what the Thunder did on Sunday in the second half against the Celtics. I mean, we're talking about that offense scoring 27 points in one half of basketball. That's absurd. That tells you how good the defense is again. Part of me says, well, I think OKC is good enough that they can play like that again tonight. The other part of me says, that they wanted to come out. Daigneault makes incredible. This team has been a really good third quarter team going on a couple of years now. At a halftime with the adjustments, phenomenal.
Yep.
Can you play to that level? And I know that game was Sunday, so that's a few days. It's not like a back-to-back here. Can they match that same level? And I guess to tie in college basketball, you saw it right with Tennessee putting out that incredible effort on Saturday. They went on the road last night, and they got blasted. Kentucky was awesome on Saturday. They went on the road last night. They got blasted by Georgia. And we talked about that with Jeff Sherman yesterday, right? When Toronto got smoked last week in one of their games, I think it was against the Celtics. The next night they had the Nets, and they were embarrassed as pros. They came out and killed the Nets. So that level of, I know they're paid professionals, but to play like that again against a team that's absolutely elite might be difficult to get to.
Well, we mentioned this the other day. Best record of the All-Star break, Cavs minus 160. Most wins on the season, OKC minus $2. And not the best price, but the Thunder 70 wins, 8-1. Cleveland 30-1. The stretch I'm talking about, they blew out Milwaukee by 23. They pounded the Sixers by 27. They scored 149 points in Denver and won by double digits. Then they went that road trip. How impressive was that? Then they went to Golden State and hammered them, beat the Lakers and scored 122 points, and then went to Dallas and beat them by double digits and scored 134. So had a little bit of a letdown against Charlotte, only scored 115 and beat them by 10. But just how good they've been offensively and how great they've been at home, they've delivered in all these big game moments. And they didn't start out hot and play well against Boston on the road with their first loss, but then atoned for that a week later. So I trust Atkinson and the Cavs here.
Yeah, the Cavaliers are also 25-10 ATS on the year. That's the best mark in the entire league. OKC, no chop liver, 23-11-2, depending on where you grade it. That's the second best. And you mentioned they only have one loss at home this year. They are 13-6 ATS. The Cavs are at home on the season. But I mean, you could look at you could break it down however you want. The Cavaliers and the Thunder are going to have top 2 or top 3 numbers in almost any category that you look at this year.
Yep. Makinen's got some good numbers on another NBA game, which we'll get to coming up. The big news this week, we're coming back to Sirius XM. January 17th, VSiN's 24/7 program will be available on Sirius XM channel 158 and the Sirius XM app. In addition to the new channel, VSiN will produce a new show for Sirius XM, VSiN Live, Mad Dog Sports Radio, every weeknight 7 to 10 Eastern, Sirius channel 82. And then January 17th, VSiN channel 158 on Sirius XM. Great to be back.
Yep, can't wait. Also, college basketball tonight, another really, really good card. How about this? UConn playing great basketball, highly ranked, on the road against Villanova, unranked, and Villanova is turning into the favorite tonight, laying a point and a half.
That's surprising, and also the what's with the St. Bonaventure power rating? They're 14-1. They've been great ATS. They're the third choice to win that conference, and they're getting, 4 tonight?
3.5
on the road. Yes.
I had to bet them.
Yeah.
I know this is something here. When I first moved out to Las Vegas 20-plus years ago, people immediately alerted me to saying unranked teams at home favored over ranked teams. Bet them every single time. I can't get there tonight. I like UConn. So, up next, we'll hit the 2 semifinal games, college football playoffs. I did not realize that this team has won 13 straight games ATS versus power conference teams.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
College football playoffs tomorrow and on Friday. Notre Dame Penn State is the game tomorrow night. At most spots, Notre Dame about a 1-point favorite. Some books have them 1.5. I still see a total of 45.5 out there. 45 can be a key number, like a 24-21 type score. I do see a 44 on the board as well. So some numbers here. Irish 12-0 straight up, 11-1 ATS since losing to Northern Illinois. USC, the only team to score 24-plus points on them. They hold teams about 19 points below their season average, and this is incredible. Steve Makinen with a great write-up at vsin.com. Notre Dame has won its last 13 games ATS against power conference opponents. Notre Dame is on a 14-2-1 ATS surge versus AP top 25 teams. Flip it with Penn State, 15-25 ATS skid against teams ranked in the top 10.
Yeah, well, it's old school football, I think. I'll play it the same way as I played the Georgia game. No score, first 5.5, first quarter under, see if you can find a 10, and the game under. Although certainly those 50s and those 47.5s are long gone. Riley Leonard, I think rushing prop is too low. That's the one thing that was working against Georgia, whether it was designed or not, or improvisation. How can he be 42.5? Right? But certainly
time to climb the ladder, Pauly?
Yeah, and now you can't go anything with Love under because it's forget it. What was it? 60? I saw 32.5 now with the rushing yards under for Love, who's supposed to play, but he's banged up.
Tim Murray's been all over this. He sent me a message earlier today. There was another book in Las Vegas still holding a 49.5 out there. I went as soon as I saw his message, and it already moved to 38.5. I think maybe he pounded it again. I don't know. I think when he first saw it, it was 52.5, and he's telling people. He told us when he came in before a show the other night, you got to grab it under. I went to look. It was wiped out, just completely vanished.
Yep. Great game. And the fact that the winner here is going to be in the title game. And
That's pretty wild.
You have the droughts, right, considering what we thought about Notre Dame, number one, after the A&M performance offensively, and then they lost to Northern Illinois. One win away, and then can they end the drought from 88, and then Penn State lost twice and almost got beat at home by Bowling Green. The other thing is attrition. If Penn State wins, or Texas, that you're talking about 17 games they're going to play. So can you get out of here healthy as well?
No question.
That's a
big
one.
And we've seen these teams get injured now throughout the playoffs. Notre Dame comes to mind for sure. Penn State right there with them. But I will say this. So I still think under 45.5 is a pretty good bet. Because I expect it to be a carbon copy, like you just said, of Notre Dame and Georgia in this game. I'm not going to be surprised if we get another like 23-10 result or around that number. Now, I get it. It opened up 50. So if you miss that number, you're going to hate yourself and say, well, I can't bet it now. I'll give you an example. And I mentioned this on the air yesterday. So I missed 3 with Georgia against Kentucky at home. Kentucky was favored by 3. It moved to 2. I didn't bet it. I'm like, oh, I missed a full point. Total blowout. But I tend to, if you do that more often than not, over time, results might not be pretty. But because you want to get the best number available, I just still think that 45.5, which is listed at FanDuel and Boyd out here in Las Vegas, might be a touch high still.
Well, this Notre Dame defense also, as you mentioned, only giving up 13 points per game and how good they've been. And the thing is, what can Aller do? And Penn State, this can't continue, this luck factor. SMU turned it over 3 times. Boise turned it over 4 times. So I don't think that's going to continue, and Leonard will take care of the ball. But what can he do in the passing attack? Which it was dink and dunk and couldn't do much against Georgia. And now you're dealing with injuries and certainly what's going on with Love. The other thing is I wouldn't poke the bear, but Franklin did that too. I mean, I think he was sitting right next to Freeman when he said it about everyone should join a conference. And Notre Dame should be in a conference and everything should be. He was going in a good direction. They all should play the same amount of conference games, calling out the SEC too. But that's the guy's sitting right next to you. Weird time with that. It goes back to he wants Saban as a commissioner again. But
sure.
Who knows with that guy? But I'm still with you on the under, but it comes down to take care of the ball if you're the Irish, and can Aller make enough plays? And I don't know, because now that Big Ten title game hasn't aged well. Because we were, what a performance, these weapons, right? But Oregon couldn't stop anything. How bad they were in the Rose Bowl. So Boise could have won that game. SMU definitely could have won that game. They just shot themselves in the foot and handed points and key field position to Penn State time and time again. Boise did not play well. I credit Penn State, but also it's 17-14, 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
How high do you want to climb the Riley Leonard ladder here?
80? 90?
Plus 250. The plus money starts at 60 plus. I'll shop around here, but plus 130 on 60 plus 180-ish on 70 plus. 80 plus is 250. You can go all the way to 150 yards. Can he get that high? It's 15-1. 125 yards is plus 880. To get to 100 yards is plus 430. Again, first book I'm looking at here.
Well, what's the game plan, right? Are they going to sell out to stop the run like they did? Is Mattson a better passer than Leonard? But you also had Barry Sanders in the backfield. He still got 100 yards, but they didn't get him the record, but he had a ton of carries.
Do they have a spy on Leonard the entire game?
I don't know.
Did they do that based on the Love injury and not looking good and his rushing yards prop dropping like a rock?
But there has to be stuff in there that's designed and planned.
No question.
I mean, that was the best thing that was working for him in the Georgia game.
Well, I'll tell you what, you had a very good bet in that game. I think you got to come right back with it in this spot, don't you? No score first 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
If you can find that?
You can find 5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, yeah.
All right. Other numbers here, again, you can find on the website, vsin.com, courtesy of Steve Makinen. The Buckeyes, 13-2 ATS against teams ranked higher than them in the AP poll. How about that? Forget about even trying to figure out the rankings, though. I mean, Texas is actually ranked higher in the AP poll. Okay. Ohio State also 5-1 ATS against dominant teams, outscoring their opponents by 15-plus points per game. So when they take on teams that have been awesome, the Buckeyes take care of business here. Outright winners are 21-0-1 ATS, last 22 Cotton Bowl games. So if you like Ohio State to win the game, based on the history here, I know that has nothing to do with the history of the sport, but just in the Cotton Bowl, it's been very, very good. Thinking about this game more and more, how will the Ohio State offense, because the Texas defense here is going to be the strength of this game, I think, for them.
I don't like the Texas defense. What I've seen the last couple of weeks, that's bad.
Well, in the playoffs, you're right. In the playoffs, not good, but in the regular season, I would say for the most part, very good.
Well, that's why first thing you look at is Howard passing yards, 250.5. If you couldn't slow down Klubnik and you couldn't stop Arizona State, what are these guys going to do? Now, can you bring your A game 3 games in a row or even 4?
I think they
can. For
can.
The Buckeyes. Yeah, I do. And Jeremiah Smith also 86.5. But if you couldn't slow it, that was a bad Clemson offense. They had a ton of issues. They should have lost to Pitt. They got beat at home by Louisville, and then here they are going up and down the field to do whatever they want against Texas. So now I don't have that. Clemson had issues defensively against the run. Ohio State's got the number one scoring defense in the league. So I know Paul Stone's on the Buckeyes. He's on tomorrow. But I would just, again, continue to look everything over with Ohio State after how they embarrassed Oregon and how Smith was wide open and the Tennessee bam, 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 right down the field, 21-0. But then again, the other story here is what do you worry about Texas too? Because I know when you covered the Super Bowl, it crippled that city 14 years ago, whatever it was, with the ice and it
was the Packers-Steelers Super Bowl.
Okay, right. Well, we got the same situation. Paul Stone doesn't even know if he's going. This has crippled the city now.
Yeah.
With what's going on with the ice and issues with weather there.
Yeah. So I think the Texas D-line can hold its own, potentially. The problem is for the Texas offense, against that Ohio State front, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball for a second. And then you have to bank on Quinn Ewers, like avoiding the pass rush from the excellent talent up front for the Buckeyes. And because, again, they could not run the football at all against Georgia either time they played. Ohio State's better up front than the Bulldogs. Right. So, to me, and I know this is going to be, well, like you just said, so are people going to be able to get to the game with the storm, the ice and stuff like that on the roads? We'll see, I guess, on Friday night. I just think that this is going to be UConn from last year, Ohio State, in college basketball. And when we look back in a couple of weeks, we're going to say, yeah, probably should have saw it coming. That's how I've been betting it now, every game with Ohio State, since they blew out Tennessee.
Could be. Will there be a package in the red zone for Arch Manning?
How is there not?
He's 40-1 first touchdown. You want anytime touchdown?
Yeah, maybe.
They bring him in inside the 5 again?
I would consider anytime.
Okay. Those are some good props, too. In sports betting and trading, understanding probability, the ultimate game changer. Unlock the secrets of high probability trading with Todd Bubba Horowitz, former floor trader and seasoned sports bettor with over 45 years of experience. Visit BubbaTrading.com/VSiN today. Use promo code VSiN500 to save $500. Don't miss your chance to sharpen your strategy and gain the edge in your trading game. BubbaTrading.com/VSiN. Promo code VSiN500.
So there is a 3-team money line parlay in the NFL right now that pays plus 110. Bills, Ravens, Eagles. If you add the Buckeyes to it, it's more than 2-1. Briefly brought it up on the air yesterday. Who screws it up? I don't think it's going to be the Eagles now. Jalen Hurts got cleared today. And is Jordan Love, is something wrong there? Not going to play?
Something with the elbow, he said.
Jeff Sealey on the program coming up next. He'll break down the Sony Open on the PGA Tour with best bets coming up.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome in. We turn our attention here to betting on golf. We love it. We talk about it every single week. So we transitioned from the Century on Maui last week to the Sony on Oahu this week. And Indy Jeff Sealey joins the program now. Follow him on X. He's at Cupmaker Jeff and part of the Cupmaker podcast as well. He's on the Progressive guest line. Good to talk to you, pal. I hope you're well. Let's start here. Hideki, of course, won the first tournament of the year last weekend at 35 under, which is absolutely nuts. Where do you think that winning number is going to be this weekend?
Honestly, guys, I think it'll be less than half of that this week. And it's primarily because of the wind, right? Anytime we look at Hawaii, we know that these courses are really easy if there's no wind, a la last weekend. And when you look at the forecast, about Friday late afternoon, the wind starts to come in, and it should be between 15 and 25 miles an hour for most of the weekend. So that's how it's projected now. Obviously, anything can happen. The forecast can change. But as of now, it looks like it's going to be pretty windy. And if those winds keep up, I think it'll be somewhere between 15 and 17, a lot less than we saw this past weekend.
Yeah. Tough for Hideki to repeat that, I would think, this week, right? I mean, being so good now to do it again this weekend. Are you touching him at all?
Well, I'm not, especially when he was rolling in 50-foot putts like it was his job, right? That's not something Hideki traditionally does. So I'm not that, again, we've seen people go back-to-back before. Like, would it shock me? No. And plus, he's the best player in the field. Like,
yeah,
so that
yeah.
would it be shocking? No, it wouldn't be shocking, but I think it's unlikely, just given it's hard to do twice, and he had a lot of putting luck, something he's not necessarily known for.
Give us some guys 20 to 30 to 1 in that range that you're looking at.
Yeah, guys, I like Tom Kim this week. I think after Hideki, he is the best player in the field. Here's one critical stat. He's gained over a stroke around in very windy conditions. So tuck that away. He's a very good wind player. Gained across the board here, tee to green last year, but totally bombed with his putter. Shortly after this tournament, he hired Paul Tesori, Webb Simpson's former caddy, as his caddy. I expect him to learn from the mistakes last year. I expect the putting to be solid, and he plays very well at these short par 70s. So Tom Kim, 20 to 1, I think it's a great price on the second best player in the field. And I'm going back to the well, albeit at a lower price, on Ben On, 28 to 1 this week. Last week he was bad with his irons and bad with his putter. He's really good around the greens in Bermuda rough, just like we'll see this week. And when a big gust of wind comes and forces a chip, I think Ben On can recover better than most. But most importantly, he's just comfortable here in general. Great finish last year, gaining fourth across the board. Coming in fourth, just gained across the board, 8 strokes tee to green. Putted well last year. I just expect a great improvement overall. I like Ben a lot too at plus 280 to finish top 10. I think it's a good price, and I think we can see him finish there.
Very good. Okay, so for those in the audience new to the program, and you've been on with us now for a good 4 or 5 years probably, other than betting these guys outright, will you be adding Kim and or Ben On in the placement markets, top 10, top 20, anything like that?
Yeah, so Ben On and Kim, I'll bet both top 10 and top 5 and outright. On some books that offer each-way bets, I'll take some each-way bets on those. For those who aren't familiar, that's where for double your bet, you can take first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or like win, place, show at a lower payout across the board there. But I'll be playing each-way bets on those guys. And some of these higher guys, when you look at some of the higher the price, the better they are to play each way, because there's nothing worse than having 100 to 1 bet who comes in second, right? Yeah. So the advantage of those each-way markets is really big. If you can find those bets, those are great things to play in golf.
Okay. And you go right back. You love your guy, Sepp Straka? He got top 20?
Yeah, I do like Sepp Straka. He was top 20 last week, and he's one of the best players in the field off the tee with less than driver. And if it does get really windy, I think a lot of guys will club down a little bit just to keep the ball in the fairway. Sepp Straka, terrific off the tee without a driver. He opened 60 to 1 Monday. He's down to 45s. He's a 42 there at Circa. I do like him, especially as the top 20 play, and he came through his last week there. So always like Sepp Straka in those spots. But a guy I really like who's really interesting, opened at 40, now down to 35, is Austin Eckroat.
Okay.
He has a win. He had a win in Diamante back in November, 17th at the RSM around Thanksgiving. Following it up with a 15th at the Century last week, and sits in a really prime spot to improve his average here. So he is arguably the best player in the field off the tee with less than driver. So I think that's a really interesting spot. Plays well in the wind. So I think he's at very least a top 20 play. I'm going to play him top 20, top 10, a little outright too. Keep a good eye on Austin Eckroat. And then last guy, guys, Ben Griffin. If the wind isn't a huge factor and it's not as bad as we think, look for a spot to play him potentially live. He grades out really well. He's actually one of the top 10 players in the field, just in general, over the last 12 months, but he's not a terrific wind player. So if the wind's not as bad as we think and everybody's playing and bet accordingly, we may be able to get a really good price on Ben Griffin. I'm going to put a little bit on him on the top 20, a little bit on the outright, keeping an eye on the wind. But keep an eye on him going into the weekend. If the wind's not going to be bad, look to play him live.
All right, very good. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Jeff Sealey. He is on the Progressive Guest Line, comes on a weekly basis to talk about golf, give out best bets. What did you make of the event that was on ESPN last night? Keep in mind that Tiger's going to be playing next Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I give it a 4 out of 10. I think I have a tough time, guys, like watching people just play in the simulator. And while, yes, it was an enhanced simulator and some of the technology they had was cool, I don't see it being successful long-term. At least I don't think I'm going to watch it long-term. And I know some people have said that they like this better than Live Golf. I think those people in general probably just want to hate Live Golf, which is fine. You can have your opinion, but I think Live is dramatically better than this. It's fine. I think it'll It'll have some initial run. Again, Tiger will play when Rory plays. These guys will get some run, and people will watch it first, but I think it will have a relatively short shelf life, and I'll be surprised if it makes it back past 2 seasons. I think the XFL made it at least 2 seasons, right?
Yes.
Could have higher ratings than Live. The production value is better. They have
and they're on ESPN. They got ESPN going for it, right? I mean, just by virtue of the fact that you're on ESPN, you're going to have eyeballs at first. But again, I just think some people will. There's just so many other things to watch, and I mean, I'll have it on. Am I going to watch intently? Probably not, to be honest.
I love excruciating beats in fantasy football because I've been through so many in my playing days anyway, and it just sucks. But everybody can relate for the most part. Tell us about the one that you had in the championship round this week.
Yeah, so guys, I was I played daily fantasy on DraftKings like most people, like a lot of people every week, and I was winning. And they need to change this rule. We'll talk about this in a second. But they need to change the rule. I lost by 1/100th of a point, and this has happened to others, so I'm not alone. When Josh Dobbs took a knee, I lost 1 yard rushing and lost my tournament because of that, which has about as frustrating, because I was like, the other guy had no time left. There was no way for me to lose unless I lost a yard, which is exactly what happened. And I really think the NFL should, like, from official scoring purposes, if a guy's taking a knee, just make it a 0, not a -1. That to me is the most tilting thing in all of daily fantasy sports, whatever. The take a knee, lose a yard. Imagine if you had you guys are big prop guys. Imagine you had Lamar Jackson over 100 yards rushing. He's at 101, takes 2 knees, and you're down to 99, and you lose it all.
It happened to Mahomes in the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right, yes, right.
Oh, it's a kick to the breadbasket, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, they should just – I mean, I don't know how they would do it, but if you give yourself up like that, official stats is 0 or something, I think that's worth but, yeah, it's the worst. And it's what makes it entertaining. But, man, that is a brutal beat, no question.
No doubt. Follow Jeff on X. He's at Cupmaker Jeff. Thanks, pal. Good luck this week.
Oh, take care.
There you go. He was on the Progressive Guest line. Arash Marchese tweeted out moments ago, according to the official account at Moon Shadows in Malibu, it's gone.
No! Oh, God.
I've never been there.
I've been there so many times. I love it.
The photos that he just sent out.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. It's God's country.
Oh, the food. It's the best view you're ever going to.
The view is, come on.
Oh, my God. I was going to take Shauna there on vacation.
10 out of 10.
Moonshadow.
Yeah.
That's where Mel Gibson was at and got tanked up when the DUI and everything.
Oh.
It's gone?
He just tweeted it out.
Oh, my God.
Man, this is...
Oh, man.
I can't believe some of the videos that are coming out. There was a guy who was stuck in his house who did not evacuate with his dog. His whole world around him is burning to the ground. And I saw the tweet like on the For You part today. When I woke up, it automatically goes to that, when you're on your X sometimes. And people are just like, I went down the rabbit hole, and people are like, hopefully this guy made it out alive. Well, I would hope that he posted it after he got out.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
All right, getting ready for Big Game 59 with a big deal. The match, save $59 off the VSiN Pro annual subscription when you sign up using promo code FTM. Every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting guides. Don't miss out on this big game deal. VSiN.com/subscribe, promo code FTM.
Win-lose is next, and we'll go over look-ahead numbers for the divisional round in the NFL playoffs coming up next on VSiN.
Night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Horrible loss by the Lakers. No Kyrie, no Luka, no problem. Mavs blow them out plus 210 on the money line. It's on national TV as well. Hornets plus 170. Now, so much for the Heat. Rough spot off a double overtime road game. No problem against Golden. Boy, they have issues.
Wire-to-wire job.
There's a lot of teams that you think, high expectations, win totals, big-name players, big roster, might miss out completely.
Yeah.
Heat plus 325 on the money line.
I will say, Pauly, in that Mavericks-Lakers game, and I'll throw in the Nuggets-Celtics game as well, again, as you said, no Luka, no Kyrie. Well, guess what? The other team potentially taking them lightly last night, and the Mavericks were awesome. The backups played really well, and Denver let it slip away in the fourth quarter against Boston. But there's no Joker, and that game's tied at halftime after they were getting run out of the gym in the first quarter.
Yeah. Got to pinpoint the guys who are going to go off, but also it seems that the team's always going to rally. I always love looking at this stuff on Caesars, Will Hill, or any book that sends it out. Some better hit a $25 10-teamer on the NHL last night. $6 grand. Not bad. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. I'll put you right on. I love it. This is a vicious attack. You hate to see this. The kid's like 2 years old. He falls down, and here come the puppies all over him. Once the kid falls down, it's over. And here come nine puppies just surrounding him. And he can't, he can't move. They're just, okay, now
He's
you're
trapped?
on our level. Yeah, sure. Here comes the other guy. Here comes the other guy, right? What, 10 of them? How many we got there? Look at this. You can't even see him. He's surrounded. Here comes, finally, the human comes in. Okay, that's enough, right?
Oh,
There's
wow.
another one. There's another one. How many puppies we got here? Anyway, okay, the kid walks up. He's okay. He's going to shake it off. The other ones still follow him around. Look at this. This is just walking around, no problem, and then falls to the ground, and they all over him. Incredible. Sure. Look at this, Mitch. Again, this majestic beast. Look at this moose. Back-to-back days. Come heavy, Mitch. Look at this guy crossing the street. He's bigger than the truck, Mitch. Oh, just going for a walk. It's like, okay, it's my turn. Look at the guy get out of the way. I mean, we showed the one yesterday where the guy pops his head in the window for some berries or something.
How big are the antlers on this thing?
Yes. I mean, if he's in a foul mood or wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, game over.
Wow, that looks like AI. It's so big.
Yeah, look at that guy. Okay, I'm just going to pull over here.
You're right. His head, first of all, forget the antlers for a second. His head is above the trucks.
Yes.
No, not that one, but the one that was he was next to before.
Right. That's
Look at
right.
that.
Look at that. Wembenyama, Moose. Good for you, buddy. Excellent. One lose some. Tennessee started 1 of 24 from 3.
Ooh.
It's like the Rockets in Game 7 against the Warriors. Yeah. You can go to the basket, you know.
It's okay. You can change it up once in a while. It's not your night, guys.
Exactly right. Maybe try something else. It's not working. I put this under loose some. I want to know what you guys think in the audience, and also Mitch. That's where Mike Florio lives. Pro Football Talk and NBC Sports. That's the barn in Pennsylvania in the middle of nowhere. We got the woods off to the side, and then it's just all snow, and that's it. A red barn in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, so I've wondered about this before.
That's the barn.
Is that the actual? So is that on his property, and then he walks back to the barn?
I would think yes.
Because I know that
he's got like a man cave and something.
Okay, because he's built it into this incredible man cave to watch games at.
What do you think?
Come on.
Really?
I'm on board.
Reminds me of Walter White and when he's got to get out of, they smuggle him and he's in the middle of nowhere, right?
I'd take him to New Hampshire or Vermont.
That's right, yeah. Man, I don't know.
First of all, how much land does he have here?
Sure.
Right? And then you're going to be away from the house, away from your wife, away from the kids, all on your own in the barn?
Yeah. Hey, Uber Eats. I'll see you in 3 hours.
Well, what's the problem?
City mouse. I'm a city mouse. But I just found that interesting. Like, could you guys do that? Could you even retire there? Maybe you're in the middle of nowhere. Look at that. Nuts. I'm glad he tweeted that out. Bad for the books. Rockets from 9 up to 13. Good call, Jeff Sherman. Celtics 5.5 up to 10. As they cover as well after the Joker news. Couple bad beats. Our friend Pete Hamill in Iowa. Oh, boy. Celtics first half. They blow it. Couldn't cash first half. Wyoming plus 7.5 against New Mexico. They led by 12 at halftime. Lost by 8. And Texas San Antonio catching 4.5 or 5. They were down 2 with 7 seconds. They foul. What was it, Tulsa? They split the free throws. Then with 2 seconds left, up 3, Tulsa steals the ball and they dunk it at the buzzer to put it on 5.
That's
come on, right?
The Wyoming game is just brutal.
Sure. Can't happen. Ready to try something different? Sign up, start playing the ponies on First Bet. First Bet, U.S.-based, offers wagering on hundreds of races every day across the country and around the world. Sign up firstbet.com, promo code VSIN200. Claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days up to $200. Head to firstbet.com today. Last week, I was showing Sean pictures of moon shadows and saying we got to go here, get vacation and after the Super Bowl, and that's go back out there. And
it's horrible, man.
God.
Okay, so look ahead numbers that are available to bet on the divisional round of the NFL. Bills, Ravens. Tell me when you have a bet here on any of these games. Bills minus 152.5 against the Ravens.
I would lean Ravens.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
No idea what the weather's going to be like at that time if we get
true.
that game, but I would go Baltimore.
Look at that total. Ooh, big boy.
Eagles, 6.5 against Tampa, total 50.5.
Philly. Yep.
Revenge from last year.
Yeah.
But also Philly's just better than they were a year
absolutely.
ago.
Tampa won't stop them.
Chiefs minus 4.5 against the Chargers.
Actually, oh boy.
45.
That's a tough one because you're talking about that long layoff, but nothing slows down Mahomes and Andy Reid. I would say, oh boy. Let's see what it looks like Saturday.
Okay, you don't have to bet all these games. Lions 3.5, 53.5 hosting the Packers if we got that game.
Can they do this again? Was that a fluke? Or they got guys back, they're at home, they feed off the crowd. Darnold was horrible I'm talking about the Detroit defense. Darnold was horrible in the red zone, missed some guys.
It's a great question.
What do you think? That was a weird game. Absolutely misleading score. Number one, that was a safety. I don't know how they blew that call. Right. It was obvious. Goff should have had a pick six. Again, you worry about Goff when you bring pressure and he panics and he just tries to unload and get rid of it. And then Darnold missed so many guys. And then the issues with the kicking and kicking it out of bounds as well and missing field goals. Okay, so
I lean towards no. That the defense will not play like that again.
Couldn't stop the Bears. Couldn't stop San Francisco.
It was the worst unit in football.
Yeah, right.
They just played out of their minds and they were excellent again. And Sam Darnold was terrible. So it was a perfect storm. Chiefs minus 7 against Houston if we get that game. Total 43.5.
Love Kansas. I love Kansas City.
Oh, that would be the number. Money line parlay or teaser's delight on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Lions would be 6.5 against the Rams, 53.5.
Well, I know what you'll do there.
Well, I'm on the Rams.
Yeah.
100% I'm on the Rams. That's a huge number. Rams have played them very well the last 2 years.
Yeah. Rams shouldn't be able to stop them, though. But look at these totals. Woo.
Yeah.
53.5, 53.5, 52.5.
Eagles 45.5 against the Vikings.
It's a tough one.
I think that's the spot where it's a repeat of Sunday night for Sam Darnold. And does not go well for him.
That is a tough gauntlet, though, if you're Minnesota. You're going to go to Detroit Sunday night. You're going to go maybe to Los Angeles Monday, and then you got to go to Philly. I don't think so.
Yep. And then the other one would be the Lions 3.5, 52.5 against the Vikings. They just played. It was 2.5 or 3.
Yeah. Fluke game.
Yeah, I don't think we get that same result.
How Minnesota wasn't leading at halftime.
Oh, 100%.
And that is, 10-9, 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
How'd they kick the ball out of bounds again before halftime?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. Clean that crap up.
Yeah, brain fart. Terrible.
I played,
I'll tell you 3 points.
Before the show started, I played 2 different Super Bowl exactas. Well, yeah, here at Circa. I played Ravens over Eagles and Eagles over Ravens. One's 26-1, the other one's 28-1. I love this Ravens team. And the Eagles, I think with the problems here with Green Bay, are going to be set up to go on a run in the NFC. And if we would get Detroit, Philadelphia to go to the Super Bowl, I mean, first of all, please.
What a game.
Please give us that game. I just don't know how that's going to go for Detroit. I have my doubts.
Yeah. And it just figures that there's just no way in hell they're going to give us Bills-Lions in the Super Bowl.
I know.
Can't happen.
2 months ago, I would have loved the Lions. But 100 injuries later, not so much.
You never know, though. I mean, if Hutchinson can come back for the Super Bowl, why can't he come back for the NFC title game?
Maybe. They're going to get Montgomery back after the bye.
Yeah.
Remember that when he first went down, out for the year?
Sure.
Well, that was a quick year.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
He missed, a game and a half, evidently?
Everyone's got a different pain tolerance, too.
Yeah. All right, we'll get some hot takes and very strong opinions on the games for this weekend from Sal Palantonio, the Hall of Famer from ESPN, joins the program coming up here on VSiN.